Cut the music, cut. So, oh boy. Well, as you can see, this is not going to be a camping video. I don't know if you could tell by the thumbnail, but I never expected this to happen. I didn't prepare for it, but it happened. And I think I'm going to be better off because of it. Well, if you don't know what I'm talking about yet, well, let me tell you. Oh, I started out camping. Well, I'll tell you what, let me get to the back of the car and finish telling you what happened. So we were all set out to do a car camping video and well, it didn't go good. Not because it wasn't a good spot. It was a good spot. But man, I just never expected this to happen. And and it's the reason why we don't have a video this week. I mean, I was all set up with the meal, the intro. So I did an intro and it was pretty cool. Well, I edited it a little bit just today. Now the camp was 3 days ago. I set out to do my camp, and well, this is what it looked like. So this isn't the complete intro, but I found this spot. It was an overlook, and filmed it coming in. I used the different angles. Well, let me show you here. And so you can see me walking in, and when I get all set up here, you got different angles, me walking, you can hear my feet. It was going good. I didn't edit any more from this point to show you what we were doing. But I'm not going to tell you where we were going to camp. Now, this was just part of the intro. And then I needed to eat before we got to our spot. So, hey, well, here's what we're making. First thing we want to put into our cheesesteak is an onion. Second thing we want to add is our green pepper. Now, the mushrooms and stuff, we'll add that later, but we got to get this turned on. I got to grab the olive oil. So I keep a little olive oil in the car. Sprinkle some of that on there. So we got our prime rib. Let's get that in there. Oh, I just dropped the whole thing in, and that's what I wanted to do. So we were using our cook pot, our electric cook pot. Started out good. I put the lid on. We had just dropped the steak in there because we're having cheesesteaks. Oh, I did notice in the editing that I called it prime rib. It was actually ribeye, shredded ribeye steak. Ooh, that's good stuff. So what happened is I got the onions and the green pepper. There's other stuff that I was going to add to it, but we didn't film that part yet because I was going to add it later. I dumped the steak in and was doing a certain camera angle, and a lot of you know I do different angles. I've got tripod, I've got things set up like magnets. I use Olight bulbs, but I have a magnet right up here, and I had just taken the lid off, and I'm gonna grab my camera, which is my phone, so I film everything with my phone. Grabbed my camera, and as I'm pulling it back, I went to go stick it up on this magnet, and it slipped out of my hand. No, it didn't fall in the cheesesteak. It hit this corner of the pot, and it shredded the screen. I mean, it eliminated it. I couldn't touch the screen to do anything. The sensor was gone. It cracked the screen the whole way across. And here I am in the middle of filming, and I don't have another way of filming. That was it. Now all the footage is still on my camera. That's a good thing. However, from that point forward, I couldn't film anymore. My worst nightmare. I've already been out and gotten water in the port. My phone went dead and I couldn't charge it. So I had to use different things to get the water or the moisture out. In fact, it happened down at HangCon, and Stitch showed me a little trick with, we used heat and put it in the port, and that ended up working out, and we were able to go on and film for the next couple days. But I never thought that I should have a backup way to film or something. Well, the night wasn't over. And here's my dilemma. So I was an hour away from the house. My phone's broken. I can't call my wife. I can't call her. And I can't go home. Well, I could, but where I was going to camp, I was in the process. So I'm not going to tell you what it is or where I was camping. That's going to be a surprise because I'm going to recreate this whole video. Maybe not the same intro, but I went ahead and did my camp anyhow. Oh, and it turned out great, but I couldn't film it. But as soon as my phone hit here, I turned the cheesesteak off. This is an electric pot. I run it off the Vitomin, but I turned the cheesesteak off and I put the lid on, and I'm like, I got to go to Verizon. I don't know what to do. Now, the dilemma is I've got to find out what time I got to pick up my wife the next day. I knew she was coming back from Pittsburgh, and I was going to have to pick her up because I dropped her off the day before in Hershey. And she was going to be texting me. We always text and talk at the end of the night, but even when I'm out camping, unless I don't have service. So I ran quick up to Verizon. Well, they were closed. And there's no payphones anymore. Back in the day when there was a payphone, you could at least do an emergency call. But my phone was not working at all. There was a center line right down the center. I was in a dilemma. So I thought, well, let me go to a 7-Eleven and just figure out what to do. I had to use their bathroom anyhow. So I went in, and fortunately, they let me use their phone. And I called 4 times to Miss 2.0, and because it was coming up as spam because it wasn't my number. She didn't recognize it. But finally, she answered. I explained everything. And then I ended up finishing my cheesesteak in a parking lot. So I ate the cheesesteak. Oh, was that ever good? In fact, I still have some cheesesteak in here in the refrigerator. I ate one big one. Oh, now I got that in the refrigerator. I'll probably eat that as a snack maybe later today. But like I said, I don't want to tell you where I was going to camp or where I did camp. I couldn't film it, but it worked out perfect. But it was like a test run. So we're going to do that camp again. Maybe I'll do that for the next Thursday's video because I think it's going to be pretty epic. Or as epic can get. But yeah. So I want to apologize again for not having a video this week. However, tune in Sunday night for our Sunday Night Live, which is 8 p.m. every Sunday. So this is going to be the one for March 18th. So 8 p.m. and I'll go into more detail about how I was blessed and how having a broken phone and all the dilemmas that I went through and what I'm doing now as a backup. And yeah, incredible. So yeah, it's going to be cool. And it gives me a little bit more peace of mind. So maybe we should cue some music because I got to get on out of here. Maybe I'll eat that cheesesteak in a little while. All right. Well, we'll see you on Sunday night. If you're around, you can jump in or just go back on the playlist and find out which one it is. But for now, we got to cue some music. Oh, let's cue that music. There we go. All right. Well, it's several days after that camp. My phone is fixed, and it was a miracle how that all worked out. If you like coming on these adventures, why don't you hit that subscribe button, maybe the like button. Check out the channel if you've never checked it out before. And if you're a longtime viewer, I want to say thanks a lot for watching. But if you haven't done it, hit that notification bell, because you don't want to miss a random adventure when we go on it. But thanks a lot for coming along, Tony, and we'll see you next week. Tony 2.0 out. Oh, wait, that's right. Don't forget to tune in Sunday night to hear about the dilemma and how we got it all worked out.